Hi everyone, this is Joel DeZenzio. I'm the owner of JD Stats and the creator of BustTheBooks.com. I hope you enjoy our little cast today. We're going to showcase some of our site services and tools, and it doesn't matter if you're a pro or an amateur, if you like forecasting football games, we know you're going to like our tools. So I'm here at the main site. I'm just going to log in. You've got 3 different ways of logging in. You can create an account with us. You can sign up via the social services, Facebook or Twitter. Once you sign up, you just click on your button and just go right in. So we're here at the main subscribers page, and depending on your subscription level, some things will be visible and other things will not. So as you can see, we've got a couple of things divided here. We have the pro football on the left-hand side and the college football on the right-hand side. Everything is very, very similar. You'll see that there's 4 main buttons: your virtual reports, your head-to-head matchups, search for teams button, and the standings. Throughout this cast, I'm going to switch back and forth between the NFL and between the NCAA, so you get an idea of how things work. As you can see, there are some call-out stat boxes here on the bottom. Some of this may change. We might add some other types of data. And one thing to keep in mind, if you are a professional subscriber, any new tools and services, you get access to it first. That's right. You get to beta test, and you get to have some fun with some of the new tools that we create. In the center of the page, we have a stats block. This basically takes you to the stats section of the site. As you can see, we have a lot of statistics you can look over. Statistics I like looking at are the TSRS ratings right here. Now, if you look at this, you're going to see that some of the statistics are pulling from last year because we have not played week 1 yet. And as you can see, San Francisco and Seattle were the 2 best and strongest teams last year. Seattle won the Super Bowl. How about that? Anytime you can click this Show More button, it'll take you back to the main site. How about the NCAA? Top 2 teams, Alabama and Florida State. Florida State won the national championship. So what's kind of ironic here is Florida State was the number 2 TSRS rated team. They won the national championship, and Seattle was the number 2 TSRS rated team, and they won the Super Bowl. So the interesting part of this is what we want to have happen every single year is we want one of the top 2 teams to play for the championships in both college and in pro. Now usually we get there. It gets very, very close. Most of the times the number 1 team is the team that's playing and winning. That's how good the TSRS ratings are. And if you don't know much about it, the TSRS ratings are the true statistical rating of strength. And what they really do is they handle the inflation of raw statistics, because mainly what happens is teams, depending on who they're playing, their stats are either inflated or deflated. They're bloated. If you watched the college championship last year, you probably noticed that Auburn played Florida State. And as you can see, if they were using my system, Auburn would not have been in the national championship picture. They're well down here at number 10. Let's move on. So I'm going to switch over to the NFL here, and I'm going to click on the Virtual Reports section. The Virtual Reports section is going to be a heavily used section for you each week. If you look through here, we've got quite a bit of information to show you. At the top of the page, you'll see a brief summary that'll show you the year-to-date records. It'll also show you the current week. And you also have a year selector where you can go back to other years and see how we did on the current week. So last year, NFL, we were 10-6 on week 1. One thing you'll want to note is week 1 is using the past year data. So as the weeks progress, the data just gets more accurate. Going to 2012, you can see we were 11-5, and 2011, 9-7. So now these are just dealing with the head-to-head matchups. So keep in mind this winning percentage is relative to the head-to-head percent only. It does not take into account risk factors and other criteria that we have on our site. So don't just go by the win probability on anything. I'm going to switch real quick and show you the NCAA. Same thing, you'll notice 2013, 80.49%. And we have a larger pool of games. 2012, 73.68%. And in 2011, 82.5%. One thing you'll want to note is we've been doing college a lot longer than we have the NFL. On the pro side, we've been running these matchups for about 3 years. All right, so we also have a little block here. We'll show you the bye weeks, whether or not the team's playing, the date that the teams are playing. So Thursday, Sunday, and it goes all the way down to Monday. So if you don't understand what some of the column headers are, you can actually hover over a few things like time and match. There's not going to be any tool tips, but when you get to the H2H percent, it's going to tell you what that column means. And then we have money line, we have the ATS, we have risk, and we have the head-to-head columns. So just as a brief overview, so Seattle's playing Green Bay, 8:30 p.m. on Thursday night. Here are the rotation numbers. You have the head-to-head percent. Right now it says Seattle has a 67.3% chance of winning on the head-to-head matrix. In this particular case, Seattle is not only our head-to-head favorite, but it's also the odds maker favorite. Anytime you see a minus symbol next to the team on the money line, that means the team is favored on the odds maker side. And likewise, ATS is against the spread. It's the amount of points that the team should cover. And then we also have a risk column. So the risk, very simple. I'll let you read this right here. It's the risk factor score for the matchup. Risk represents the chance the head-to-head prediction might fail. So what we have here is a 67.3% chance that Seattle should win. And what this is saying is that it's a 23.08% chance of this prediction to fail. And then we also have a little head-to-head button. And if you click on this, it'll take you to the head-to-head pages. So we're on the head-to-head matchup for Seattle versus Green Bay. That's that Thursday night matchup. And what I'm going to do on this particular page is I'm just going to take it block by block and just kind of showcase some of the features we have on the head-to-head page. So in this top section, you can see you have the team names, basically the team banners. The rotation numbers are the numbers that you use to easily identify the teams when you make a wager at a bookmaker. We have the team records up here at the top. We have the TSRS ratings. So depending on the sport you're on, so NFL for instance, if you hover over the TSRS rating, it'll tell you what the minimum value located in the database is for this sport and the maximum value. And so you can see it's between 45 and 118. And I also put some little representations for the teams. So this says they're an elite team. This says they're an average team. And then down here, of course, you have the money line and the spread, and the money line and the over-under. All right, so then we also have this game history section. And the game history section is going to look back at the last 3 times the teams have played each other, if any. And as you can see, back in 2009, Week 16 late, Green Bay defeated Seattle 48-10, and the next time they played was well up in 2012, and Week 3, Seattle defeated Green Bay 14-12. So the game history gives you a brief snapshot on how the teams are faring against one another. So let's scroll down a little bit and go down to the next section, which is the risk markers. And you may notice that the risk potential markers may differ as you go between pages. That's because there's about a 1 to 1.5% chaos variable that accounts for a little bit of unpredictability. So you may see that these markers are within 1 to 1.5% of each other. So we have, for the NFL, we have basically 5 sections. We have head-to-head, we have the TSRS difference, scoring offense difference, the scoring defense difference, and the pass efficiency rating difference. If you go to the NCAA side, you may see another column called RERD, and that simply means rushing efficiency rating difference. So as we hover over these, we can see a small description of what they do. So later on in the next video, I will show you how to forecast a game, how to properly do the research, how to predict a winner, how to be accurate about it. Then down here we have our rosters. This is just showing their years of experience. When you switch to the NCAA side, it'll show you the seniors, juniors, sophomore, and freshman breakdown. For the NFL, these pertain to years, so greater than 10 years, 6 to 10 years, 1 to 5 years, or whether they're a rookie. Then we have a standout comparisons. This deals with the offense, so it's kind of an offense to offense comparison. It looks a little bit like a box score. And then you have defenses, and you have special teams right here. And then my favorite is the trends comparison section, and this deals with momentum trends. So on the momentum trends, you have two sections. You have offense at the top and you have defense at the bottom. The lines you really want to pay attention to are the blue lines. The blue lines represent the team's momentum, and the red line represents the teams faced. So the way these momentum indicators work is if you see that the team plays a weak defense, you should see the offense spike up. So that's a normal pattern. So when you see these large loops, that's normal. If you see a huge spike at the top and then a very small loop, that means the team did very well against that team. Defensively, you can easily see the difference here. So Green Bay, Horde defense, started off really, really weak. So you can see they started to increase about week 7, week 8. The momentum's going up, and then it just starts to decline and deflate all the way down to week 17. On Seattle side, a little different. They started off relatively strong, and they just got better. I mean, there's a little volatility up here, but you can see they just got better and better and better as the season progressed. And that is the head-to-head page. Quite a bit of information on here, a lot of information to digest. So I'm not going to show you mock wagers right now, but I'll do mock wagers in the next video when I show you how to properly forecast a team. And we're here on the standings page, which showcases all the conferences, and it also has the TSRS ratings next to the team, so you can see their relative strengths. And let's go ahead and click on Florida State. And we're here at the team page. The team page has quite a bit of information as well, and I'll go over it very quickly. So at the top block, you have the conference they're in, the general records, the TSRS data. You hover over it, it gives you the min-max value as well, their ranking in TSRS. On the overall ranking section, you'll see that if you hover over it, it'll tell you that it's the current team's ranking in each category out of 128 teams. There's a little 1 indicator, there's a little 128 indicator, it's 1 out of 128. Obviously, being in the green is better than being in the red. So, Florida State's number 2 on offense, number 2 on defense, and number 40 in special teams. And then as we look at the team schedule, there's some interesting information on here as well. TSRS-P and TSRS-C. So the TSRS-P refers to the TSRS rating of the team at the time the two teams played. And the current is what it is now. So if we were on, say, week 6, you would see that Florida State played Oklahoma State when they were this rating, but the current may be higher, may be lower at week 6, and you can kind of get a relative idea of how difficult the team was when they played and whether they got stronger or weaker. So we also have some stat information for averages on offense, defense, and special teams. And then similar to what we had on the momentum indicators on the head-to-head page, we have a trending indicators. Each of these are relative strength areas for offensive rushing, passing, scoring, red zone, and defensive rushing, passing, scoring, and red zone. And the weeks that they're playing, you can kind of get an idea of how strong the team is and how they're trending. We also have the roster breakdown for how many seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen, and the roster information that goes all the way down to the end of the page. And that is the team page. And this is going to end the section for this particular video. If you want to see how teams are forecasted, you can look at our next video as soon as we have it up. And thanks for taking the time to look over our site and services, and we hope you enjoy it.